Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, everyone here watching. This is RWP. First, let me say thank you for being here, and also let me say I'm sorry that I have not been here. Let's just say that RWP's workplace and home has been ravaged by some strange illness that's apparently going around, right? And so many people that I work with have been in and out with said illness, and it came to the RWP household, and I will tell you, it came pretty strong. It did. It put a hurting on myself, little RWP, and Mrs. RWP, who actually is still not 100%. I would venture to say that I'm not 100%, but I'm definitely leaps and bounds better than I was over the last couple of weeks. At any rate, we're taking care of ourselves in all of the ways that we know are effective against said illness. Nothing experimental or crazy that we've done, but many of the things that are tried and true. Vitamins, supplements, rest, liquids, etc. And so here we are. But I wanted to talk about something else in this video. Watching, haven't for the last few weeks, several weeks actually, as I've been absent, watched much news. But here in the last prior to the illness coming to our house, and since I have been home, I've been back to work this week, but I'd been home for a while prior, and kind of been watching and catching up on some news. And there's something that I've been noticing, and it's a lot of the people, news and politicians and pundits talking about the word democracy. Everybody's so concerned now about democracy. Every powerful person is talking about it. Our sacred democracy. You hear it everywhere. The Atlantic, NPR, NBC News, everybody in between. Democracy kind of defines the year 2022, just to take this from what I saw a pundit say, in the same way that 1969 was defined by the word groovy. So everybody's worried about defending democracy. Jim Acosta, Liz Cheney. It's a big deal that the word is a buzzword now. They seem to think that you and I and people like us are threatening democracy. All right. For example, if we're being honest about it, let's just say this. We should be worried about our democracy. And let me explain why. Another way to describe it is popular representation. When the government does what the citizens want, you've got a democracy. And when the government doesn't do what the citizens want, you don't. You don't have a free country that's ruled by its people. So to find out what kind of citizen that you have, you find out what kind of country rather you have, you find out what the citizens want, and then you juxtapose that with the concerns of what the elected officials care about. If there's a functioning democracy, you should have a body, a representation body, a legislative body that represents what your cares and concerns are. You want your leaders to speak for you, the voters. So let's look at that as it applies to America. What do our leaders care about? They tell us constantly that they care about equity, they care about climate change, they care about trans rights, police brutality, the deadly insurrection of January 6th, visas for illegal immigrants, mandates, and now, of course, the most recent thing is the Ukraine. We got to protect Ukraine's borders and because that's so important, protecting borders, countries' borders and their sovereignty. As long as it's not our own here in this country. So I think it's interesting that what we see and what we see being bloviated about by our leaders, by politicians, by political pundits in the mainstream, by a whole lot of folks that truly I don't think care, about this country. It shows. The general public, if you could poll every single person, not to say that no one cares about any of those things that I mentioned, and that's just a small example, but what they really care about is gas prices, is food availability, is stability, in our society, is freedoms being held and upheld, rather. Not all of this, this third wave feminism and all of these things that I mentioned. It's a push to change the narrative. It's a push to change the mindsets. They want the children and the children's children to be the next wave of their groupthink, and it's we already know that it's tearing this country down. It's going to continue to tear this country down, and this should concern us all. I guess that's it. That should concern us all. Something to think about. So what do we do going forward? Well, I think we should just prepare. We should keep preparing. I'm a preparedness channel, in a lot of ways. Real world prepper, obviously. In the real world, I've got all of the trappings, like I say many times, of life, and so do you guys. And so we can do what we can do, and starting in our own homes is to prepare mentally and informationally, and prepare, of course, with supplies, things to be able to take care of ourselves when society breaks down to the point where you can't or don't want to get out from your home or from your community or from between your workplace and home or whatever, your circle. We should still, I think, represent ourselves at the voting booths, although I do think that largely that is becoming less and less effective, but that is still a tool that is in our toolbox that we should utilize. And just keep doing the things. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Speak truth everywhere and every chance that you can. Do not be silent. Speak truth. Not the woke truth, truth, but the real truth. The truth of Jesus Christ. The truth of all of the lies and scandal and deceit that's going on from our leaders all the way down to some of your neighbors. Speak truth in every instance of untruth being spoken. Let's not go quietly into the night. That's not going to be good for anybody. That's not going to be an end that any of us want. And we may still have an end meet an end that none of us want. I'm really of that camp, that's really where we're headed. But the more that we can stave this off and or change minds along the way and grow our communities and grow our strength in our numbers, perhaps the better chance we have on the other side of this great reset, right? So anyway, I guess that's all I've got. I'm the Real World Prepper. Thanks so much. I'm on Patreon if you want to come over. It's $1. Link will be in a comment down below. It's also in my About section. And as always, I've got email address and P.O. Box also in my About section here on this channel. And thanks so much. I'll see you guys, not sure when, hopefully again soon. Okay, thanks.